He's from Shefford. You're from Shefford, right?
Shefford, yes.
Yes.
In Bedfordshire.
Okay, and this is the Cotswold English Olympics. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's in Dover's Hill, in Gloucestershire, that is.
How long have these Olympics been going on, Steve?
They started about 1612, believe it or not, and they've been going on and off since then.
So before you were born, in other words.
Slightly, yes. Slightly. Only just, though.
How long have you been in the shin kicking sport?
This was my first year. So,
no way.
Yeah, I'm a member of an English martial arts club. We do some English wrestling and stuff like that, so I thought I'd better have a go at some live stuff.
How did you train?
Well, we actually trained with cricket pads on, just so that it wasn't too painful during the training. And then in the club, we just took it in turn as to see who was going to enter for it. So. Now,
if I saw this correctly, that the only padding you use is basically some straw or some hay?
That's right, you get a hay bale and you can shove as much as you can up in your trousers before you start. It's amazing how much you can actually get up there.
Does it help?
It takes the sting off of it.
What kind of footwear do you use?
You're not allowed hard shoes, so no sort of steel toe caps or anything like that. In sort of the beginning of this century, they used to do it with steel toe caps and stuff, but we're a bit soft now. So
I'm told when this first started, there were some serious injuries in this sport.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, like I say, they used to have steel toe caps and harden their shoes. The people with broken legs and all sorts in those days. So yeah, a bit rougher.
How many people were watching this event?
I think there was a good couple of thousand there, at least, on the hillside. There's a beautiful amphitheatre, a natural sort of amphitheatre there. It's brilliant,
Now, the pictures I was watching, you were dressed out in basically kind of white coats, like a lab coat. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah.
Why do they use that?
Because it's a rural sport to start with. These used to be shepherd smocks. So basically, just for cheapness, they're now the closest there is. I mean, nowadays, people working in dairy and all that, they do have these shepherd smocks there, the lab coat type things now, so just to follow on from that, really.
It looked a little muddy.
It was, yeah, very slippery underfoot, but it's all part of the fun, really, isn't it? So.
Do they water the pitch?
Well, just beforehand, they have some other sort of games, and some of those involve water and everything like that, but it was, it's English weather.
English
rain.
Exactly, some English weather. Now, how many opponents did you have to defeat?
There were 16 in all, so there was 4 fights to get to the final.
And what was your toughest fight?
I think they were all tough, really. You can't really pick any at all, but I would say the semi-final was quite tough for big lad. But I mean, it's hard to pick any of them because they've all got their own little quirks and kicks and that. So you're not sure where the kicks came from in the end. When you can't walk the next day, you're not quite sure which one did it.
So were you pretty bruised?
I had a couple of days of hobbling about afterwards. Yeah, but it's like anything. The adrenaline keeps it off until you finish and you're sitting in the pub afterwards.
There you go. Now, when you say in the pub afterward, were you sitting in the pub before it started too?
No, I was walking down the hill because a bit of the Olympics is a big candlelit parade down into the village, and it was starting to stiffen then. So you have to compete relatively sober. Is that what you're telling me? I did, yeah. Some people, I would say half of the people went there, they're sort of regulars, and so you get about 8 people just come out of the crowd. It's an open competition.
Okay.
And they're the guts. That's the people with the guts.
What's the biggest key to being a shin kicking champion? What kind of advice would you give somebody that wanted to get into this sport?
Well, for me, you need a bit of wind. It's like judo or anything like that. It's quite blowy. It blows you out a bit. But mainly, for me, is being quick enough to kick their kick. If you can boot their kick in mid-kick, you're going to drop them.
What are the rules, Steve?
The rules are you've got to hold on the shoulders and you can't let go of that grip. You're not allowed to do any throttling or anything like that. You must kick below the knee. You've got to win best out of 3 throws, but you can only throw when you're kicking.
Okay.
So you can't just grapple someone to the floor. You have to literally kick them up in the air and then drop them down. So.
Do you have rounds, or do you just go until the best out of 3 have been done?
Best out of 3. So one of the fights literally was 25 minutes.
No kidding.
You might have seen a bit of the bloke giving up.
Oh, my gosh.
He literally gave up.
25 minutes.
Yeah, and his legs were hurting so much.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So
I was quite pleased because it was the other semi-final.
So you do have to be in shape.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit.
Oh, it does. Yeah, no, it does. There's definitely a lot of stamina involved in it.
Now, are there other events that you will compete in, or are there other opportunities for this competition, or will you wait until next year to defend your championship?
Yeah, for the shin kicking, it's just the one. There's only one place left to do it. I mean, it's the problem with these traditional martial arts stuff. But so last weekend I was in a stick fight in a coaching competition. There's lots of these country things about. So
a stick fight?
Yeah, it's English country backswording, another sport we're trying to bring back in.
That sounds a little dangerous to me.
Yeah, it was the same as shin kicking. Yeah, you get to wear a fencing helmet, but that's it. You do get a bit bruised up on that. So
how surprised are you that you've had all this attention that you got on ESPN, Sports Center, and everybody has seen you?
I just think it's such a small world now. I mean, from a field in Gloucestershire to Texas in a week.
Yeah.
How incredible is that? You know. But it shows there's some worthiness in these old sports now. People are interested. People like to watch a bit of raw sport, if I say. Not many rules.
Do you, besides the martial arts, do you do other sports?
Not anymore. I used to play rugby. But,
rugby?
But basically now I just concentrate on these, the country sports and that. So.
I'm told it takes leather balls to play rugby.
The same as American football, I think.
I don't know about that. American football have pad. At least they have padding on. Yeah,
well, they go in quite hard with that padding. I've seen it.
Do you ever watch any American football?
Yeah, you get some on the telly over here. Yeah, and it's a tough old sport when I look at it. I like the look of it.
Do you like watching it? Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do. Yeah, brilliant. Anything involving a bit of crunching and.
What's your favorite sport to watch? What do you like the best?
I'm not a great watcher of sport.
Yeah? You just like doing it?
I like getting stuck in here.
Yeah.
I get very frustrated if I watch sport. Well, you probably know about English soccer, and you can see why we get a bit frustrated.
Where do you work, Steve?
I work just north of London. So.
And what do you do?
I work in computers. So.
In computers?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of expels the notion of all computer people being kind of geeks. Right?
You've got to have an exception to the rule, haven't you?
Apparently, you're a big exception to the rule. Have you had, like, friends and family and people calling that saw you on the telly?
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. My sister usually follows me about. She comes down to the competitions. But mostly the sort of nieces and nephews have been quite impressed with the whole YouTube experience.
Did you get a prize, a gift for winning?
Yeah, you get a little cup.
A cup.
But the main thing is that it's going in and competing and feeling good about yourself afterwards, really, isn't it? That's why you do it, really, in the first place.
No shillings?
No. A pint of cider, that's all.
Oh, a pint of cider. Was it hard cider?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good, okay.
Scrumpy, yeah.
All right, so until next year, at least, you're retired from the shin kicking.
Definitely shin kicking, but I've got some backswording bouts and stuff like that. I mean, if anyone's interested in that sort of thing, we've got a website, www.backswording.co.uk, and that explains English martial arts. So.
Backswording?
Yeah, it's an English sword with one blunt edge, because we train with metal and steel and that as well. So.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of it about.
Yeah. That sounds like you better know what you're doing, or you could get hurt.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, the idea is not to get hit at all.
Are your bruises all healed up?
Your knees are a bit sore. Put a couple of hits on the knee, which
that's illegal, right?
It's illegal, but
it still happens.
It's a country sport.
Do they get penalized?
A bit higher than that.
If somebody kicks you where you're not supposed to be kicked?
Yeah, if the sticklers are bothered.
Now, I saw the referee in one of the videos kind of holding a stick.
Yeah, that's where their names come from. They're sticklers. Do you ever a stickler for the rules?
Yeah.
That's where that comes from. In these competitions, they used to have a stick, and they used to do it in the backswording and the shin kicking. It's basically to prise them apart in case they got a bit carried away and started actually fighting each other.
See, a stickler for the rules. So if they do get carried away and start fighting each other, does he beat them with the stick?
He splits them up with the stick. Yeah, exactly. That's
oh my gosh! Did that happen? happen at all during this competition?
No, everyone was very well natured.
Oh, good. Well, that's a good thing.
Afterwards as well, so.
That's a good thing.
It is, yeah.
All right,
I think most people that do this sort of thing have got that, not a need to prove themselves any further, really.
Well, I think you've proved yourself. I salute you. This is Steve Willaims, the Bulldog. Where did you get your nickname? Did you give yourself that nickname?
It's my stunningly good looks, I think.
Good looks and a champion, too.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much for speaking to me.